Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. And once again, a teacher has been fired for refusing to bend the knee to the mentally ill trans lobby. This time, a teacher refused to call a female him and to use the preferred male name. Reason? The parents weren't informed, and he felt uncomfortable at doing this without informing the parents. And the school said no, they weren't to inform the parents, they were supposed to keep it a secret. And it makes you wonder, if the school are keeping this a secret from the parents, what else are they hiding from the parents of children? This is a terrible situation. Let's look at the article. So here's the headline. Fury at witch hunt of sacking of maths teacher who refused to use a teenage pupil's preferred pronouns without obtaining parental permission first. Kevin Lister, 59, is taking legal action against his employers for unfair dismissal. A Swindon school sacked him after he refused to affirm a pupil's gender change. He said he would not refer to the biological female student 17 with male pronouns. Lister claims he's a victim of a witch hunt for challenging dangerous ideology, and he has received support from campaigners as well as Tory MP Danny Kruger. Now, you might be thinking, 17's old enough to make that decision, but legally 17, you're still a child. You have not reached the age of majority. A doctor, for example, could not perform an operation on you without parental consent because you're under 18. So if a doctor can't do something to you without parental consent, it's damn right sure that a teacher can't change your gender without parental consent, or at least without parental knowledge. And if the school are willing to keep this sort of thing secret from secret from parents, what else are they going to be keeping secret from parents? What else are they hiding? It's a worrying situation that a school says we're going to keep information about these pupils from their parents. And that is the danger of these this dangerous lobby of trans lobby that pushes and pushes and pushes these things and pushes children into irreversible decisions that lead ultimately to a massively high rate of self-ending. They're dangerous. But anyway, getting into the story. So Mr. Lister, a teacher at a school in Swindon, has enjoyed an unblemished 18-year teaching career before he was dismissed for gross misconduct this month. The gross misconduct is that he wanted the parents to be aware of what was going on with their child. And that is now deemed gross misconduct because this spineless school has fallen prey to the machinations of the mentally ill and dangerous trans lobby. They have no balls, this school. He had refused to refer to a biologically female student aged 17 by the preferred male name and he/him pronouns in A-level lessons. The 59-year-old teacher told the Mail on Sunday he was concerned that the out-of-the-blue request amounted to social transition, which could put the teen on a pathway to irreversible medical treatments, and he's completely correct in that. I wanted at least to make sure that my student had parental support and was making an informed decision. I think this teacher is doing a better job of parenting than the parents, if the parents didn't even know about this. He said, as a parent myself, I would have been furious if my child had taken this step and I hadn't been told anything. Mr. Lister said he was gobsmacked when he approached the safeguarding officers and was told the parents would not be informed about the student's wish to identify as male in the classroom. Why are they so desperate to keep this away from parents? Is it because they think the parents might try and talk the child out of it, or at least take the child and get psychiatric help to find out if they are actually gender, worried about their gender, or they're just gay? This is the problem they have. And the school are pushing that same woke, pro-trans agenda that has been foisted on everyone, and who, if you speak up against it, you're seen as an ist and a phobe and the most terrible of people. And you're not. You're actually safeguarding the children, unlike the woke wankerati of the trans lobby, which is out purely to use children as cannon fodder in their battle. Anyway, the school's guide to supporting transitioning students states that staff should maintain confidentiality and only tell others about the person's trans status with their permission. You don't have to follow that because it is morally and ethically wrong. The morally and ethically right thing to do is to let the parents know about their own child. Mr. Lister said he then found himself in an impossible position. I ended up pointing to her as politely as I could to avoid either dead naming her or supporting transition without parental consent. I hate the term dead naming. Dead naming is not a thing. What he means is by either calling her by her actual name or supporting transition without parental consent. This term dead naming it's a term invented so that the person who does it can be seen as a terrible person, an islamophobe, and oh, he's guilty of that. No, he's not guilty of fuck all. What he is guilty of is calling the person by the name given to them by their parents. The parents that the school don't want to know what's going on. Earlier this year, Mr. Lister discovered some students had made accusations of transphobia against him, and he was suspended in February, pending an inquiry, and escorted off the school grounds. There's no such thing as transphobia, because a phobia is an irrational fear. No, what they're talking about is complete and utter horseshit, because you're not scared of the trans lobby because they're mentally ill. They need psychiatric help. You shouldn't be scared of them. You should be willing to help them. Get them to the psychiatrist. Get them the help they need. A disciplinary hearing last month upheld 3 complaints, namely that he had subjected a gender transitioning student to transphobic discrimination and harassment and refused to use the preferred name of he/him pronouns. He was also told in a letter earlier this month by the school's vice principal that he had degraded the student by pointing in class, and he was insensitive by writing the female name on the board relating to the Olympiad. Now, this is where it gets a bit tricky. So he doesn't want to embarrass them by calling them her or the female name, so he points, and now it's seen that pointing to them is degrading. This child that he refers to about the female name on the board relating to the Olympiad, it's a maths Olympiad. And this child that wants to be called he/him and has now got a male name wants to go in the female side, the female team. Have you got a penis? No, you're a woman. You're on the female side. I'm calling you a woman. I'm going to call you by the name your parents give you until your parents tell me to call you something else. They named you. I didn't. Mr. Lister has refuted the allegations against him, saying he was simply trying to protect his students' welfare. Last month, the then Attorney General, Suella Braverman, now the new Home Sec, said that the law was clear and that under 18s could not legally change their gender, meaning schools were under no legal obligation to address children by a new pronoun. Therefore, they have fired him illegally. So when he sues them, I hope he takes them for hundreds of thousands of pounds. Send the right message. Mr. Kruger, the MP for Devizes in Wiltshire, said, I'm very concerned that a school agreed to affirm a child's transgender identity without parental consent, and the school refused to comment. And he is completely in the right, this teacher. The law is very clear that you are not to affirm a child's gender change without parental confirmation, without their permission. And so he was doing what he felt best. And when he said to the school, can we speak to the parents? And they said, no, we mustn't tell the parents. And that makes you wonder why these schools are so dangerous. Teachers are full of left-wing Marxist ideology. They brainwash children into this kind of crap. And then people wonder why the kids coming out of school can barely read and write, but they're fully conversant with the woke ideology. And it's dangerous. And as I say, these children that are pushed down this line of trans ideology, of changing, of filling their bodies full of chemicals and then hacking bits off or getting bits inserted, ends up with them being mentally scarred for the remainder of their life. They are never going to be happy. They are never going to be satisfied in life. And like I say, the self-ending rate for them is massively high. Whereas a little bit of psychiatric help early on, and it may be that they were just gay and confused and can come through it unscathed. The amount of people who go through the gender changing process, post-surgery and all that, that regret it, sometimes almost instantly regret it, is horrendously high. It's something like 60 to 70% of people who do it regret it. But that's never pushed, because the only pushing they get is from the trans lobby pushing their sick, weird, warped, mentally ill trans ideology agenda. And they're wrong and they need to be stopped. Anyway, I'll finish here and I'll come up. So I wish Kevin Lister all the best in his endeavours as he fights this case. I hope he takes him to the cleaners for several £100,000. He deserves every penny. He's standing up for the well-being of that child, unbeknownst perhaps to that child, and certainly against the wishes of the school, a school that wants to hide things from parents. Kevin Lister is the sort of teacher you need. He's not a pandering, woke ideologue. He believes that children need to be protected, especially from the trans lobby. Who knows what this child needs? A bit of psychiatric help, certainly, but it could be that their girl is a lesbian and not actually transgender, but the confusion of a 17-year-old mind makes it vulnerable to suggestion from these powerful groups, these loud groups that push their hateful agenda. And if this girl went down that line of irreversible gender change, she may come to regret it. So good on Kevin for standing up for this kind of thing. He's also completely legal. He was advised by government and guidelines that this would be wrong. It's morally wrong, ethically wrong, and legally wrong to do what he was being told he had to. So he's fighting it, and I say all power to his elbow and the best of bloody luck. Anyway, I'll finish here. Thanks very much for watching. If you like what you're seeing here on the channel, please hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Ring the bell for notifications of future output. Leave a like, leave a comment, please share the video. And until next time, stay safe, stay well, never trust schools, and goodbye.